Hello everyone, welcome back to the Glassman's world. I'm Dan the Glassman. We got a new camera angle today. Hopefully this will stop the camera from overheating. This will also bring me a little closer to the microphone, and hopefully this will just fix the issues that we've been having. Let me just readjust the camera a little bit here. Get a little bit better of an angle. Something like that. Alright. Oh yeah, let's get this Christmas tree in here. We still got the holiday spirits going. Move all this stuff out of the way. I don't know if you guys have been seeing that. We'll put that right there. We'll talk about that here soon. Alright, you guys. Okay, gotta be careful not to hit the new microphone stand with my head here. And bring my chair down a little bit. Okay, make sure that we're all plugged in too. Alright, so today I'm going to attempt to make something new and something different. Check this out. I got this for Christmas. Cool lighter case. I just need to get a working lighter for it. Oh, I don't know where my trash can went. Got rid of it, I guess. Okay. Hopefully I have enough propane and oxygen to make this today. Hopefully I have enough propane. I believe I have enough oxygen. We'll see. We shall see. Okay, first things first. I'm going to clean up this end here. So how was everyone's Christmas? How was your guys' Christmas? Ours was really awesome. The kids, I believe, had a really good Christmas. I don't know if they got everything that they wanted, but they definitely got some really awesome things. I don't know if you guys joined us for Christmas Day. We did some Christmas gift opening. We went live. I wanted to make sure to share that, you know, with that way we could share that out with family, with those who can't be here with us, and who sent gifts. Alright, so I'm going to close up this tubing here, or at least attempt to. So I changed the camera angle a little bit. You're not much further away. I mean, you're about a foot or two away. I don't know. I guess you used to be here, and now, yeah, you're like 18 inches further than what you were. Maybe a foot further. Maybe it'll work. You were a little bit more on top of the flame. Now you're a little bit further set back. I might be able to set you back even more, actually. But I know we've been having some overheating issues with the camera and when I'm working the big flame here. Anytime I'm working a little flame, there's never issues. It's with this bigger flame here. So it's something new that I'm trying to incorporate here. Do a little bit more of the larger glass blowing. Now that I've rehabbed my shoulder back a little bit better. I mean, it's still giving me issues, still causing the numbness and everything in my fingers. I'm still getting all that, but I'm able to make things bigger than I have before, so that's better. That's a good thing. That's a plus. All right, so Christmas. You know, Christmas just happened. We had an awesome Christmas. Like I said, the kids got all kinds of gifts. We opened up gifts around the tree. This year was the first year that we had a family Christmas tree, an actual large Christmas tree. For the last 5 years. We've been using a small little 2 foot, maybe 3 foot, I think it's only a 2 foot tall Christmas tree that we've set up in various locations, including hanging it on the wall to keep it away from the cats. And so for the last couple years, you know, we had some new cats. We weren't sure if getting a tree would be a smart thing to do. So we've been hanging up a small little tree on the wall, and it's been nice, you know. But we finally got ourselves a real, well, an artificial tree that we can keep for years and years to come. It's a pre-lit one, but you know, when those lights go out, if it's not diffused and I can't fix it, then we'll just have to light it up ourselves. But lights, that's simple electricity, simple circuitry, so you should be able to fix those with these. I should be able to. Alright, so I'm not going to say what I'm making. We're just going to let this unfold as it comes out, and hopefully you can get the whole entire video without any cuts or anything. And I may bring the camera back just a little bit just to ensure that we're as far as we can go. Oh no, let me see. The heat up here compared to over here, there's a lot more heat here. Yeah, there's quite a difference from where it was before. From where the camera was before, there was a lot more heat going to it. Alright, let's see if I can just keep all this glass without having to waste it. That's pretty cool how I was able to fold it over like that. Let's see if we can just bring it all together here. So now that hole, I basically just like closed it up onto itself. see if I can get this all shaped out nicely. So I don't know if my cousin ever watches me on YouTube or when I go live. I don't think. I think only if I'm on Facebook Live. So we'll see. But good morning, good morning. Hopefully my cousin isn't the one coming in watching right now. And we'll see if the camera overheats or not. Alright, there's still a hole there. I was feeling the heat building up in there. I felt this tubing right here start to heat up. I was like, why is it heating up? There's an air hole, an air bubble right there. So that flame was actually heating up the inside. I gotta close that up here. That's cool. I was able to get that all to fold over without pulling any of that glass so far. So I haven't seen my cousin since Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was really good. The holidays have been really good this year. It's really nice to go over and see my family on my father's side, and see all the cousins and everyone there. See my auntie. What it made me realize was when I first moved here to Albuquerque, some of our very first Christmases and Thanksgivings was actually at this same aunt and my uncle's house. My uncle passed away years ago, but this is the same aunt that has always hosted Christmases and Thanksgiving for the family. And I just realized that, like, wow, like, yeah, because I've been here since '88. In high school, I would go to, we have different sides of the family, and then we also have back then, I had my stepbrothers, stepsisters, and we would have our own Thanksgiving and stuff, and then we'd also go to other family and stuff like that. And then my mom's side of the family is out here too, and so growing up later on, I'd go to other dinners and celebrations and stuff, and wouldn't always make it back to their celebration. And then it seemed to like switch over from my aunt and my uncle's place, and it seemed like more my cousin was hosting and doing it, and we'd be going over there more every year. And then they stopped doing it and stuff, and so, if traditions change, things change. But it was nice to be back this year. I believe I was there, 2 years ago? A couple years ago. I couldn't make it back last year, but I was there like 2 years ago. Okay, I'm just gonna clean this up. Even though I was trying to like make it look all nice and everything, it's still, there's pieces of glass in there I don't want to utilize. I don't want to have in there. We're just gonna get rid of that. Alright, there we go. So I'm really not sure how I'm gonna make this all just yet. Actually, I probably should have just left that on there. I might just pop a hole on this end and put another tube on this side and cut it off into two pieces here. It's been a while since I've worked tubing, so I'm getting back into the feel of it. It's a little bit different than the rod, working with solid glass and rod. Working with tubing is a little bit different, the way it moves. I'm a little bit out of practice, so I'm not as smooth with it as I used to be. Not as fast with it. Alright. I need to move these. I found all kinds of cards the other day. A few days before Christmas, on the way to the bus stop, I just found like a whole bunch of random cards. Well, I found a bunch of books. They were like children's books, and they were like on a pile, in a pile on the ground, just like next to a bus stop. It was weird. I was like, okay, I guess someone just didn't want their books anymore, their kids' books or whatever. And I was going through the pile of books looking to see which ones our son would want, right? Oh shit, I just cracked that. Oh my god. I gotta reheat that now. I let that cool down too much, and then I went in with too crazy of a flame there. I just cracked that whole bottom there. And just lost it. We're gonna have to close it up again. I just lost a whole bunch of glass. Alright, let's try that again. So, I was going through this pile of books, and in the middle of the pile, like I noticed there was like a few basketball cards, some sports cards, the old trading cards. I was like, oh wow, what are these? And I started seeing that they were Chicago Bulls. Now when I was in high school, I was into basketball. I was into the Chicago Bulls. And you know, everyone was into Jordan, right? Ever since the 80s, everyone was into Jordan and stuff. And I don't know, I grew up then at that point just getting into following the Air Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and all the rest of them, you know, that were all part of the Chicago Bulls, and then they won the championship. And so, yeah, I'd noticed those cards right away. Like, whoa, these are Chicago Bulls cards. When I was in high school, I had a whole bunch of sports cards. And my friend ended up coming to live with us for a little while. And then eventually my stepmom had to kick him out and like packed his stuff up. And when she packed his stuff up, she packed my cards up with his, thinking that all the cards in the house were his. I was like, no. So like all my cards ended up becoming all his cards. And I was like, whatever, dude. Like, it is what it is. We can't figure out which cards were which now at this point. So I was like, whatever. They're yours now. So yeah, I used to have a whole bunch of trading cards back in the days, and my stepmom got rid of them all. So I don't have very many. And so when I saw those, I was like, whoa, those are Chicago Bulls cards. One of my favorite teams. That's awesome. But then I'm also realizing, like, wait a minute, these are Chicago Bulls cards. Like, Chicago Bulls. Old school cards. But then a few of them, you know, they were Sports Illustrated for kids cards. And I was like, oh, well, those aren't clear top. They're probably not worth too much. That's probably why they threw them out or whatever. So, you know, I'm still friends with my friend that was staying with us, the one who's got the cards, right? I got my cards from when I was in high school. And I told him how I found them, and he was like, whoa, like, but wait a minute, dude, those are actually a lot more rare, because the Sports Illustrated cards, they didn't come out with very many of them. And I was like, yeah, but these are Sports Illustrated for kids. And he's like, yeah, that's even more rare. I'm like, oh, yeah, right. So I started looking them up. Man, these cards are worth. I need to quit touching them, number one. But look at that. They're in good condition. Like, I would say mint condition. I've got this one and this one right here. This is the one. That's the one right there. Yeah, boy. I'll put that one right under. We'll have Scottie Pippen guarding him. So yeah, I found those cards like a week or so before Christmas. I was like, that's an awesome Christmas gift right there. Just coming from from the universe. Like, thank you. So awesome. All right, we got that glass back down. Into a tube again here. I don't know if you saw what I was just doing right there, but the end of it was super thick and I just blew into it to thin it out. I don't know if you can see that or not with the flare and how bright it is. I don't really know if you can see the detail on everything that I'm doing here. So I got about 2 hours to complete this. I don't think it'll take more than an hour once we get started. So we're 30 minutes in already and we haven't even got started yet. I'm going to blow a hole through the end here, and then we're going to attach another blow tube to this end. And then I'll flare this open. And we'll match this tubing here. Let's see, do I want it to be... Yeah, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to fuse these together. Alright. Just make sure the seal is good. I don't really like the way it's looking right now. I'm going to straighten out the tubing on the opposite end. It's a little bit crooked. There we go. That's a lot better. Alright, now we're just going to flame cut it. Normally I use the bigger flame to cut it, but cutting it with the bigger flame I think will pull it and stretch it a little bit too much. I want to keep it, I don't want to lose any of the glass yet. Alright, here we go. I'm cutting in half now. Bam. Now we got two pieces here. This one's slightly bigger. Let's see if I can set this off over here in a tray. I don't know if the holes are big enough for it. Alright, I'm going to put it there. hope I have enough propane to do this. Usually when it runs low on propane, you'll start to smell the sulfur coming out of the fuel. They add sulfur to propane so you can smell it. Propane is actually non-detectable. You can't smell propane, it's so clean. But they add sulfur to it so then you can smell it in case you have any sort of fuel leaks. So it's a safety thing they do by adding the sulfur to it. Alright, we got that all nice and blown out. So now what I'm going to do, I'm probably going to add a little bit of fuming to this. My hand's going numb already, so I need to stretch it out. My arm just, oh man. Okay, whatever. Just got to deal with it. Part of the job. Oh, I might have lost my silver. Alright, so what I do now is I get this, there's a little tiny chunk of silver on this piece here. And hopefully I can get this heat to the seal right here without that popping off. Hopefully I don't have any issues with losing that off the tube that I just sealed it to. I'm going to preheat the tube here. We're not losing it, it's not popping off yet. So if I can keep that heat right in there, it should be good. Won't be till later when I start to seal them together that we're going to have issues. Alright, then I'll get this silver that's on here, I'll get it all nice and molten to the point where it starts to evaporate. At this point right here, I can use the silver and do kind of like a simple little coating. That's the main reason why I need ventilation. For gases, fumes, things like that. And then we'll just coat that on there, get that nice, and now there's a luster on there. So that's silver fuming on there. So I'm going to get some really light blues in here. We're going to, I don't know what colors I was thinking. I was thinking blues and whites, I guess. I don't know. So now I'm going to pull stringers around it here. And the stringers basically is just like a thin stringer basically of color that gets laid onto it wherever I decide it to be, however thick that I choose it to be. I'm in control of the flame and how thick it is, but it took me a long time to learn how to control that. to get it as thick or as thin as I'd like it to be. And then also the placement on where you want it to be. That's all about heating up, preheating the areas that you want it to adhere to. I'm going to leave the space in the center open. As you can see, that just kind of broke away, broke off. So I didn't have full control of that right there, as you see. Need a little bit more heat. Get it to the end, bring it back around. Try to add the same amount on that side as I did on the other side over here, towards the bottom. Got all those stringers on there now. And I left that center kind of open. What I want to do is just add some dots in there. Just doing a dot pattern, kind of stagnated dot pattern, one next to the other. Trying to keep them all the same size. Trying to get them to match up back around to the beginning here. Alright, now we got a dot pattern going around there. Okay, now I need some rod here, which I'm realizing I don't have any rod ready to go. So I need to actually pull some rod, which this should have already been done, because now I'm going to have to keep this piece heated. While waiting for this rod to get molten enough to work and to pull it. Make sure to keep it all molten. Or keep this all nice and warm. That way we don't have any of those stringers falling off. We don't have any cracking or anything, especially by the steel. Now I'm going to utilize it to pull the stringer, which normally you wouldn't do, but I don't have a third hand here, so alright, once I get it going, then it's just going to start coming pretty fast here. I'll get a pretty good stringer going. I'll need enough to just go over all of the... So this is like a thicker stringer, as you can see. Trying to keep that controlled to about 4 millimeter, 5 millimeter if possible. Sometimes we'll use a 7 millimeter rod. Alright, let's go with that. I'm just going to melt it right off the tip here instead of trying to break it off. There we go. Get this back warm again so we don't lose any of it. Keep this nice and straight. So can you spin with one hand and do this? It's like patting the top of your head while rubbing your belly. Spinning and then doing one other motion. Can you do that? Alright, so now I'm going to add these stringers here. So now I'm going to rake it. So this thicker rod or stringer, I'm going to utilize it to rake the pattern down. This is basically known as a simple wrap and rake technique. Very basic. I just go on one side and go on the opposite side. Stopping at those dots. And I'm going to go in between those on the side here, and then I'll go on the opposite side again of the tubing, stopping right there in front of the dot. And go back and reheat this bottom area just to make sure we don't have that cooled down too much and get any sort of cracking or anything. We'll go back and we'll just bring that heat back in there. We'll go in between here. Now we're going to go in between those lines. And then we'll go in between those lines. So now we've added 8 lines. And we'll go in between each one of those, and then there'll be a total of 16 lines of rake all the way around the whole entire piece there. And like I said, I'm not going to mention what I'm making. We're just going to allow it to unfold here. Hopefully the camera does not overheat. Let me check and see if we're getting any sort of warnings on that yet. It should be fine actually with the low heat right now. My fingers are numb in my right hand. They always go numb. The lower portion of this is probably pulling down. I probably need to get to it quickly here. Let me just reheat that real quick. Make sure we don't get any sort of cracking. We don't want it to cool down too quickly. We just preheat it again. We're doing a hand annealing. So basically we're keeping this annealed or nice and warm so we don't have any issues with cracking on that bottom portion. All that stuff is not molten, melted in yet. It hasn't been fixed into place properly yet. So it can all fall down and collapse basically. It can all just break and crack. That's why that first crack happened, was because it wasn't melted down all the way. The little two holes that were in there didn't get melted all the way in and round it perfectly, and when I put that flame directly to it, it created that cracking. Alright, let me stretch out my arm and go to the bottom section, and now we're going to do wrap and rake on the bottom as well. Just stretching out my arm, my forearm. Okay. So now the heat's going to stay right here at the bottom portion. I'm not going to have to worry about it cracking or anything anymore at this point. I just have to make sure I don't melt it too much and allow for the blow tube to get too hot, because that's now the thinnest part of this whole thing here. And if I overheat it, it can start to move around, fall, collapse. Okay, and we'll go in between each one of those now. So now what this is doing is it's pulling all those stringers that I wrapped around it. So that's the wrap part, and then this is raking it. It's pulling it down, raking it downward into one direction. So you'll kind of see like this wavy pattern. And then I use blue, like a really light blue, on top of that silver fuming. And the silver fuming is actually, when this all colors in, when there's a dark background that will coat the inside of this eventually, then all that color, all the fuming and everything is all going to come out. Alright, so right now what I'm doing is I'm going over all them dots with clear. So this should create like a silver highlight around those blue dots. And those blue dots are so faint that they're almost going to look clear when I'm done with this. You can't let it cool down in that bottom portion. And I'm being extra cautious just because it's been a while since I worked tubing. Usually I'm not this cautious about reheating it so much. Almost around. We almost got all the dots encased now. Dang, how many more to go? Okay, I think we're there. Alright, so we made it all the way around. Now we're going to use this as a punchy. We're going to punchy this up here. We're going to shape it out. That punchy just cracked. It's all good. It's all good. It just melted back down. No worries. No sweat. Alright, we get that all molten right there. Get that tip nice and molten. I'll round it. How you doing? I see someone's watching. I'm working on this piece here for my cousin. Oh wait, before we punchy this up, hold on. Let me get this front melted down. Forgetting my steps. It's been a while since I worked tubing. So let me just pop this off real quick. Oh shit, not the whole thing though. Damn it. Okay, let's fix that real quick. Alright, this is going to be interesting to fix this. Alright, let's see what I can do here. I just done popped it off the end. Talking about being careful. All because I forgot one step. Alright, now let's seal this up. Woo! I got a big old punchy over here. Stuck. Alright, let's get this punchy off now. Let's just re-punchy it up here. Jeez. We're gonna have all kinds of fun going live here today. Like I said, that's gonna be the part that I was concerned about. Like I said, I'm out of practice too with the tubing. Alright, let's get rid of that big old chunk right there. Breaking glass all over the place here today. Alright, let's try to get this reheated without losing it again. Jeez. I don't know, man. Hopefully I don't lose it. I'm already losing it. So the other day I made this amazing Christmas tree topper. I don't know if you guys saw that. I tried to go live and capture it, and that didn't work. That didn't work at all. I went live 20 minutes in, and the camera got overheated. And I'm really hoping right now we ain't running out of propane. Alright, all I wanted to do was get this portion on the end melted before I punched it up like I just did. I tried to knock the punchy off, and I ended up knocking the blow tube off. Alright, here you go. Yeah. Alright, y'all. Alright, we can get to punching it up now here. Let's get back to what we were doing. Alright, so like I said, it's been a while. It's been a minute since I've been working tubing. Just barely been getting back into it after a couple years of not really working much tubing these days. And I'm forgetting my steps. So, time to get back into it. Time to start making these things. Go live. It don't matter if I make any mistakes while I'm live. We're just going to fix them. But the other day when I was working on that Christmas tree topper, 20 minutes in, the camera went out. And at that point, it was already so nerve-wracking. And I was like, man, this is going to get ridiculous. I didn't worry about getting the camera going again or nothing like that. I just decided I'm just going to make this, and then we're going to reveal it at the end if it comes out. Because I was already at the point like, I don't know if it's even going to come out. Like, this is crazy. And then it came out. And then I shared that video, the unveiling or the reveal. I don't know if you guys seen that yet. If not, you guys should check it out. It's beautiful. I tried to mimic something that I've seen before. And so in that video I asked, like, you guys recognize it? The comment in that video, let me know. Let me know. I haven't seen anyone comment yet on what they think it is, or revealing where it came from originally. So right now what I'm doing is I'm shaping this tubing, you know, from this little round pudgy thing. I'm going to stretch it out. I'm going to shape it. And it's going to be a nice elongated tube here. With all the patterns, all the colors. Hopefully we ain't going to lose it off the blow tube here. Considering, should I add a new blow tube to it? You just flip it over. Add a little twist in here. So my cousin at Thanksgiving, he asked me to make him something, a little something something. And I was like, yeah, I can make you something. He's like, how much? And I never told him how much. I figured what I wanted to do was just make this for him for Christmas. I'm making Christmas, making Christmas, making Christmas, making Christmas. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm making Christmas. We're getting close to that blow tube. Hopefully we don't lose it again. But I love that we had a crazy accident and I was able to show you guys that I could bring it back onto the tube like that. It's not easy to correct mistakes like that. A lot of people, once that happens, they just give up and they start over. Just throw it away. Start on over. I don't like to waste. In anything, in life and stuff, I don't like to waste. I like to try to hold on to scrap glass, utilize it if I can, especially my color glass. But like anything in life, you know, I try to teach you guys how to do upcycling, recycling projects, things like that. Okay, now we're going into like really close to the blow tube. This is where it's going to get a little bit nerve-wracking and scary. We don't want that blow tube to get overheated and to collapse or fall, or we don't want it to detach in any way or lose its integrity, lose its connection basically. We gotta be real careful on the torch placement here. I had to pop it off again. I'm like, please don't pop up. Please don't come on. Okay. Alright, cool. I think we're safe. I think we're in the clear with this one. Alright, and then I flare it open, just like that, and that's ready to go. What is it? What is it? Alright, maybe you'll come to find out soon enough. Alright, now this one's solid, all on one tube. I don't have to worry about this part breaking off or nothing like that. That was very nerve-wracking there. Not as nerve-wracking as that Christmas tree star though. That Christmas tree star It has at least 16 points, if not more. I'm trying to remember. I put the one on top. There's 4 around. And then 8 more. So there's 13. It's a 13. Oh my gosh. Like as in the 13 moon cycles of the year. If I did that, I love that. If I made it a 13-point star, that's magic. That's amazing if I did that. I don't know if that's what I did, but I'm like, wait, I think I did 4 going around, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the front, 1 on top, that's 5, and then I did 4 in between there, and 4 in between there, so 8 little ones. That's 13, guys. Oh my gosh. A 13-point star. Alright, beautiful. It feels good to be able to work tubing again. Alright, and we'll fume this one again, and now this time the pattern's going to be slightly different, almost the same but different. Alright, we'll find that silver again. Bring it into the flame, hopefully it doesn't crack or pop off or fall out of the glass here. Get that up to temperature, get that to where it's evaporating. And then we'll just coat the whole outside of that with silver. And we'll get our color here. That same light blue that we just used. And we'll do stringers on the bottom, dots on top on this one. Instead of dots in the middle, stringers on both ends. We're going to do stringers on just the bottom here and dots on top. Top on top, dots on top. Add a little stringers. Get up to about there. Add that. And we'll get the dots in. Dots in. You guys remember Dotson? When he became Nissan Dotson. Dotson. Okay, let's start out with 3 dots on top. And we're just going to come out with a pattern here. sure we keep the bottom warm, don't lose the stringer. You go bigger dots and bigger dots. And I'm just finishing up adding some big dots, a couple small dots on each end of those. Make sure we don't lose the stringers on the bottom. We've got to keep that warm. Talking about 13, I think I just put 13 dots going around that one. Not on purpose. I was just counting them and then it ended on 13. I'm like, huh, interesting. Alright, now, I don't have any more of the stringer again. Eee. Probably should have done this again first. Alright, let's just keep this warm. Keep all the dots warm. I may just pull this one with the punchy here instead. That way I don't have any issues with it trying to attach to it. Only issues, I'm going to have to hold two pieces of glass in one hand. Alright, there we go. I don't think we're going to need too much. Alright, now we're going to add the rakes in here. Bring this down just a little bit. I think with this one, I'm just going to go directly around it, following the pattern of the dot right above it. Just adding these lines just side by side each other right in between those dots. So that dot pattern is creating the sketch out, the pattern, the layout of where each one of these rakes is going. Okay, we're an hour and a half in. I said I had 2 hours to finish this. I got 30 minutes to get this done so I can get going here. I got a couple errands to run this morning. Forgot to grab the cat food yesterday, which is basically just canned tuna. They get canned tuna and then they get some dry food for all their other nourishment. But yeah, they get straight up tuna. Not tuna flavored cat food, they get straight up tuna out of the can. Our cats are they're pretty well taken care of. Alright, I think that's the last one there. Alright, so we got the raking pattern all the way around. I'm just going to heat this up, kind of get it all annealed to that same temperature again. So it's all glowing, that same consistency all the way around. I think I'm going to go over some of the dot pattern, but not all. So I'm going to go over all the ones that basically were the borderline ones that created the pattern layout for me. And then the ones above that are pretty large, so I think I'll just keep those. And then I'll go in on the top portion where the dots are smaller. And I'll encase some of those also. already around. Okay, cool. Actually, I'm going to leave them as they are. We're just going to sink this in as is. Well, like, maybe a couple along right here. I don't know. They're just all so close together, it's not really going to work out the way I want it to. Alright, let's heat this all up. Let's get this all melted in now. I'm glad that the torch hasn't overheated the camera yet. So we got a few days left until the New Year's, guys. Happy early New Year's 2025. Happy New Year's if you're watching this after the New Year. So the New Year's for me, New Year's Day is a very important day for me. So basically on this New Year's, 9 years ago, I was somehow compelled to quit drinking. After like 25 years of drinking alcohol, pretty much my whole life since I was like 15 years old in high school, started drinking as a freshman, going to different parties, trying to hang with the big boys, right? With all the juniors and the seniors. And I guess some of the college kids who were at those parties who were the ones who were like getting us the alcohol, or, you know, I guess some of the high school seniors had fake IDs and stuff. So, I don't know. Somehow we got alcohol at these parties, and I ended up trying to keep up with the big boys, right? Playing all the different drinking games and all the different stuff. It was all ego and pride that really got me sucked in, and really got me like hooked and addicted to a point to where, you know, it was just something that became second nature. You know, I'd work all day, and then, you know, what would we do after work? We go to the bar. We go get a few drinks and unwind, right? And that just became second nature all the time, every day. You know, for as long as I can remember. After, you know, I've been blowing glass since right out of high school. And so, you know, pretty much, you know, I learned I can't blow glass while drinking. I might be able to have a beer or two. This is when I was drinking. Now I handle like half a beer maybe. I don't know, because I don't drink. But, you know, back then I used to be able to handle a beer or two. And I used to drink some pretty strong beers. So we're talking, you know, some thick oatmeal stouts, some IPAs, some, you know, 5.5% alcohol beer, some nice dank beer. Santa Fe Brewing Company was one of my favorites here locally. And I ended up realizing that, you know, 2 beers in and I would have to stop blowing glass. So I realized that at some point that blowing glass and drinking just didn't mix. And if I drank, if I went past that second beer, then my workday was done. And as soon as I started drinking, I realized I started to slow down. I started to make mistakes, and my work wasn't as clean as it should have been, right? So, you know, it took many years of trying to be like, okay, let me just slow down. Let me just not drink as much. Let me just not go out every night. Maybe I'll just go out on the weekend. You know, let me just not overdo it when I go out. And then, you know, the thing was like, as soon as I started drinking, I would continue drinking until either the cash was out of my pockets and I didn't have any more funds, or I basically had to stumble my way home drunk, because at that point I was already going to start blacking out, not remembering what I was doing and where I was going or anything like that. I like to drink. I like enjoying the whole being around people and socializing and just letting loose, extremely loose though. That was my problem, was I just like let it go, like whatever. And then eventually something happened to where I got involved with a group who was practicing Krishna consciousness. I was learning about Hinduism and Krishna consciousness, and I was learning about being in service, being of servitude towards others. Serving Krishna by serving others, by serving the world. And it took a while for me to finally realize that I was being a complete disservice to myself and others when I was drinking and when I was a drunk. When I got past that second beer, I was unable to be productive and functionable, to be a quality, productive member of society at that point. And it took me a long time to realize that I couldn't be in devotional service if I was in complete disservice to myself, to others, and to Creator, to God directly. So one day, at the place where we were studying Krishna consciousness, which also doubled as a software company, where we were providing Odoo software to businesses, local businesses here in Albuquerque, teaching them how to run their businesses, how to generate sales, how to build their list, and all that. And in that time, we had moved from one location to another. We were transitioning, and the person who was in that spot that we were transitioning to was slowly transitioning out, and we kind of did this thing where they were moving out, we were moving in at the same exact time. We were using the back portion of the building, and he was still using the front portion for his events, for his computer stuff, because he was doing computer software repair, or computer repair. We were doing the software installs and things like that. So it was a little bit different, but kind of the same. And he was hosting events. That's what he was doing, was he had an event space as well that he could utilize the front of his store front for whatever, for parties, for meetings, for events, social gatherings, whatever. And one of those meetings that had come through on the New Year's Day, which happened to be the very first year that I did not go out drinking on New Year's Eve. I had nowhere to go to. It seemed like once I got involved with Krishna consciousness, and it seemed like I lost a lot of friends. They didn't understand. They thought I had joined a cult. They didn't like me anymore, I guess. And I was just learning things, and I was just sharing things and information, and it wasn't sitting right with them. Maybe it was bringing on guilt or bringing on their own thought patterns of what it was that made them feel the way it was, but they didn't like it, and so they decided not to like me. Eventually I had no friends and no one to really hang out with for New Year's, and so that year was the first year in like 25 years since I was 15 that I had no party to go to, no one to drink with. I thought I was going to go somewhere, actually. A friend of mine actually had come by and was like, hey, been hanging out over here at our friend's house and just chilling. There ain't really many people there, but we're just hanging out if you want to come by. So he actually came by to pick me up. I was working on someone's website. It's like, all right, just give me a moment. Let me work on this for a second. And he was chilling for a second. He was like, all right, let me go outside and have a smoke. So he went to go smoke a cigarette. And then he never came back in. And I was like, what happened? I went outside. I don't know. Maybe it was like 30 minutes later, I realized he didn't come back in. I go outside, his car is gone. I'm like, oh, he went back to the party without me. Like, wow, okay, whatever. I'll just keep working here. This is my new lifestyle. This is my new way. I'll just focus on our clients and Krishna consciousness. And so that's where I was mentally and all that. I was like, okay, well, whatever. It is what it is, so be it. I have nowhere to go. So I ended up just going back to work, went to sleep, woke up the next morning, and then a meeting came into that building. And so I was like, oh, let me help you guys out, you know, doing devotional service. Let me help you out, set up the chairs and whatever, how you guys want them all in a half circle like this, one or two in the front like that. Okay, cool. But, all right, what are we setting up here? And they're like, oh, it's an AA meeting. And I woke up thinking like, wow, this is the first time in 25 years I didn't have a party to go to. First time in 25 years I did not wake up hungover. I did not get drunk on New Year's Eve. First time in 25 years. And I realized that happened for a reason, and that I probably needed to sit in with this meeting. So I asked them if I could join them. They said yes, of course. And that was my very first AA meeting almost 9 years ago. That's how I stopped drinking. I realized I needed to get into more devotional service by stopping being of a disservice to myself and to others. And that's what got me to stop drinking. So it was a combination of wanting to serve the Lord, at the same time wanting to join this AA meeting. This AA meeting came to me. I was blessed with this coming to me at that moment in time. The perfect timing. You know, they say that God comes to you in many ways and reveals himself in many ways. Himself, herself, itself. God reveals itself to you in many ways. And this was one of those ways that I understood. So I decided to follow through. You know, many hear the calling, right? Few will answer the calling. They say many are called upon, few are chosen, right? Well, I think that we're all called upon. It's just a few that decide to actually answer, actually decide to respond to the call. I think that's all it truly is. And so, yeah, 9 years ago, almost to this day, I answered that call. I decided to follow through with it. And from that point on, I have not had a sip. You know, eventually people were like, oh, well, are you doing this? Are you doing that? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm not trying to get hammered. Like, you know, people are like, oh, you're still taking tinctures? It's like, yes, that's medicine. Tinctures are herbal tinctures to help with, you know, your immunity, with your health, your gut, your biome, you know, things like that. And people are like, oh, you're doing this. Oh, well, that's fermented. You're eating cheese still. Oh, you're eating yogurt still. That's a fermented food. That means it has alcohol within it. It's like, oh my gosh. Oh, you're eating cookies still. It has vanilla extract. That's maybe also. I'm like, okay, guys, you're taking it a little far there. But I understand some people have such an issue and a problem with it that as soon as they get that taste within them, that it's over, right? So I totally get it that some people cannot handle cookies, cake, things like that. That it's a trigger in a sense. Interesting. So yeah, I feel very blessed. I feel fortunate that I had that happen to me. It wasn't something that I decided, oh, I'm going to go to AA that day. It came to me because of the path that I was on is all I can explain it as. I don't really know. It was divine intervention at the right timing. It's what I needed in my life. And I was able to follow through with answering the call. What I did that day was kind of crazy. I wouldn't recommend this to anyone. But what I did was I went directly to like my local watering hole, right? My favorite spot that we'd normally go to afterward, right? The place where, you know, they would have their PBR special. You get a PBR Pabst Blue Ribbon and a slice of pizza for $4.25. So for $5, you can basically leave like a 50-cent tip, which is, you know, crappy, but I guess that's 10%. But yeah, you could get a beer and a pizza for $5, and a lot of people do that. That was their college special, right? And I went there. I ordered the PBR special. I had my friend with me. This was the one who I thought ditched me the night before. He told me actually what had happened was that he went out to go smoke. And because he had already been drinking and a little 420 action going, that when he went to go smoke that cigarette, it made him so tired as he was like sitting there that he was like, you know what, I just need to go to bed. And so he, instead of like staying out partying, he decided to be safe and to go home. But he didn't tell me, and he didn't text me. He forgot to text me when he got home because I guess he just like fell asleep right away. So the whole time I'm like thinking, oh, he ditched me. They're all out partying without me. I'm a loser, whatever. When I'm over here like practicing Krishna consciousness. I thought that was funny. So yeah, so then I find out he didn't ditch me. I missed out on a party, but then we didn't, like, yeah. It didn't happen for a reason. And then when we went the next day, he showed up and told me what had happened. And I was like, well, let's go to over here. I just was in an AA meeting, and we ordered the PBR special. I gave him the beer, and I ate the pizza. We might even split the pizza because it was kind of a large slice. So the reason why I did that was because as a musician, a local musician here in Albuquerque, performing musician, people would always come up to the stage offering me drinks, offering me a beer, offering me a shot. You know, always, as the lead singer, as the guitarist, always, always, always. That was just a given. You know, sometimes we're paid with the bar tab. That was part of our pay, right? Was having that benefit, I guess, right? It's pretty crazy to think. And so, yeah, I ended up just going to the old watering hole, but then giving away the alcohol. I had to do this whole mind over matter thing and basically force myself to realize that it's all me. It doesn't matter whether I go somewhere, this or that. A lot of people who go through AA meetings, they'll have to remove themselves from certain circles of friends, from certain situations. I knew I was going to still be performing with my same friends, the same guys that I was drinking with a few nights before. I was going to have to then endure them drinking and me not drinking. Just as simple as that. That's all it was about. There was nothing else about that. It was just, I had to basically want it, desire it, and make it happen. I had to realize, you know, putting in the prayer, the manifestation into it, once you're given that opportunity, that door gets open and you walk through it, then it's up to you to continue taking the steps, continue doing whatever is necessary to allow that blessing to continue to follow you through in life. You know, I could have just easily a year later decided, oh, I got this, I'm good, and go right back to it, right? So this upcoming New Year's Day, I'm very proud to say that I'm going to be celebrating 9 years of not drinking, which is freaking awesome, phenomenal. I can't believe it. You know, I never would have thought that I would have quit drinking. Me, out of anyone, I was the one who liked to party. I was one who liked to prove a point by drinking. I don't know, to show everyone that I can drink just as much as them. I don't know what it was. There was something about that mentality growing up with all my uncles and everyone drinking around me, that it was like, yeah, they do it, I'll do it too. We all gonna do it, right? And my first drink was when I was 5 years old, and I was given a beer to sip on, and then had a burping contest with one of my uncles. I'm not gonna say who, not gonna throw him under the bus or nothing like that. That's all back in the past. I know that he's gotten sober since those times, but I know he has some issues with it all. Okay, this is when it's gonna get scary, because now everything is on that one really, really weak blow tube. Oh yeah, here we go. Hopefully it doesn't fall off, I don't lose it. Hopefully it's adhered nicely. Can't allow that heat to touch it at all. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, you know, 9 years of not drinking, there are times when I think about it. There are times when I'm like, huh, I wonder if I could. I wonder if I could have a beer and be okay. I wonder if I could just have a little brandy into eggnog, a little rum into eggnog. And then I remember just how much time, energy, and effort it took me to get to this point. And I don't want to ever lose that progress. It'd be like working on this piece right now and then just deciding, yeah, whatever, and just throw it away in the garbage. After all this time, energy, and effort, right? Like, why? Why would you do that? We're at 2 hours in, guys. I need to finish this piece up. Hopefully I can. Alright. I'm gonna get this all set up. I have not made one of these in like 2 years, guys. So I gotta thank my cousin for asking me to make something for him. That I want to kind of be, you know, I want to make something impressive. If it's going to be in the family, I want everyone else who's going to see it to know that this is a Gardunio. This is what Gardunio glass is all about. Right? Our name is on this glass. I don't know if they realize that. This is known as Gardunio glass. Our name is stamped on this glass, whether they like it or not. Our name is branded with it, and it's got to be of the highest quality. I might not have the most pristine patterning in this one here, but that will come once I get a little bit more practice in. Usually these things wouldn't take me 2 hours to make, so I'm going to really have to work on my timing here with these. So right now I'm just working on the seal. I'm sealing two pieces of tubing together and turning this glass into one solid piece now. I'm making sure those two pieces of glass come together real nice. Alright, I gotta get going here soon. I really do need to finish this. And then I'm rushing out the door. But I just wanted to wish you guys all a Merry Christmas. I hope you guys have an awesome, a really safe New Year. I'll be staying home and just watching all the different celebrations, the fireworks around around the world, sorry. Everyone, all the different countries celebrating the New Year coming in. All the different customs and things that they do. I'll be watching Times Square, although Times Square is not like it used to be when they had the Dick Clark rocking in the New Year. I don't know, it's no longer what it once was. What do you guys think about that? You guys miss Dick Clark's rocking in the New Year? That was fun. Alright, I'm glad that we haven't overheated yet. There's only a couple more steps here left until this is completed. Alright, so now I'm going to do a quick annealing and try to bring the heat all the way up this piece here. Still not saying what it is. If you'd like to guess in the comments below, you're more than welcome to. But I'm not going to reveal what it is until the very end. Again, I might just hit the bottom here with this bigger torch and really sink this in all one and get rid of that crease entirely. And try not to move the shaping at all, and I don't want to overheat it too much. But I do want to also get that heat to get up into where the top is there. I see a little orange kitty out our window here. We have kittens in the back. Oh, there's two of them. Oh, that one has a mouse. Nice. Those guys are catching mice. That's awesome. Good job, meow meow. Good job, kitty kitty. Oh, all the other cats are trying to get to it. Is that the mama? The mama's like, no, this is mine. You get away. They're all surrounding him. I don't know if it's the mama. Like, get away. This is my food, cat. Like, you gotta share. I'm gonna have to put some food out for them. Make sure they ain't starving. Give them a little Christmas, New Year's dinner. Oh, beautiful. I love that. Look at that shaping. Now it's got that J hook on there. Woo, that is nice and smooth. It doesn't have that wavy bump in it no more. Which means that this whole portion should be nice and warm now. Right? Should be able to do this and not worry about anything, right? The bowl is one of the most critical parts, more vulnerable parts, because of the when you're pushing that part in there, it thickens up the wall of the glass, and it has more risk, more chance of it cracking there. I'm popping a hole on the top now. This is coming directly out from where one of these dots are placed, and so I'm going to add some color to it and make it a little bit bigger, thicker, more pronounced when I pop a hole through it.
I'm directing that air hole through that marble. So I could pop a hole right there. And now what I'm doing is I'm adding my signature, which is one big dot, two little dots in a triangle pattern. This will be a signature piece here. So this is something that would probably go for like $60 to $80. Maybe a little less, being that it's not too involved with the pattern, but still, it's a very nicely worked piece. Okay. And apparently I had enough fuel to get this done so far. Let's not jinx it. I'm going to slowly bring the heat back this way. Try not to crack the very end of this connection and everything here that I've worked so hard on. Bring this a little bit closer to the very end here. Now this is the most scariest part. Cleaning up this here and finishing the whole thing. Once I get that heat on there, it pretty much is safe at this point. Oh. Like I said, I'm out of practice. I only just touched it to the torch. That's a big no-no. Alright, and we pull it in so I can open up the end there. So then I can melt that hole open and get the reamer in there. Alright, cousin. I'll be seeing you later. Cool. Well, there you go. This is known as a Sherlock. Gardenia glass Sherlock right there. We're going to We're going to place it in the kiln nice and carefully. Alright, ready? Okay, as long as I can slide that, drop it in the kiln. Ooh, that's hot. Let's see how hot that is. Alright, you guys, I'm pretty much done. That was crazy. That took 2 hours and some, 2.5. It's 8:30. I got to get out of here, guys. And that is at 1190. It only needs to be at 1080. So that's good. I can bring the heat down. I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching that. That was a very advanced piece. Something that I hope to be doing a lot more of in the near future. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I believe we had the live chat going, but no one mentioned anything. But I thank you for tuning in and watching. Appreciate you. Love and blessings. Hit that like button if you liked watching what you see, and be sure to subscribe if you want to get more of this. All right, I'll let you go. You guys have a beautiful and blessed day. I'm out.